so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong, we've been wrong. My learned Christian citizen, if you built this world so well, tell me, why is it your children curse the homes in which they dwell? And why is it your cities have become a living hell? And why are we on the brink of total war unparalleled? And why do all your students and your city folks rebel and take to drink and LSD, and riots you must quell, and you yourself take tranquil drugs to ease your nerves a spell? Just what went wrong, my Christian friend? Listen as I tell. For so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong, we've been wrong. Yes, let me tell you, friend, just let me lay it across the board. We had a road a long time ago that you, my friend, ignored. A road that would have made a plowshare from each soldier's sword. A road where every thought of war would always be abhorred. A road set down for peace and love by him we call the Lord, who planned that all mankind should live in trouble-free accord. A road all paved with treasure that the poorest could afford, where every man's creative growth becomes its own reward. But for so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong, we've been wrong. But soon you learn to wander back to where you first began, and you tied us down by loyalties to nation and to clan, loyalties by which we give our own the best we can, and we leave the scraps and crumbs of bread for every other man. Yes, for so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong, we've been wrong. And now we all prefer our own, and you know where that leads. It separates all mankind into wheat and pesky weeds. For those outside now threaten to disturb us by their needs, and to jeopardize our tranquil family living by their deeds. Yes, preferential treatment is the soil where hatred breeds, and love of only certain men the place where hatred feeds. And still the message calls aloud, the message no one heeds, the call to universal love, the one way that succeeds. But for so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong, we've been wrong. And so, my friend, we've got to break these chains that bind and tie this nationalistic, preferential, clannish kind of lie. For all men are my brothers, and each one is my ally. And in each child's lament, my friend, I hear my own child cry. I cannot in my heart rejoice to see another man die, though he be called an enemy or a military spy. For love is universal, or it's nothing but a lie, and it alone will build, my friend, a new world by and by. But for so long we've been wrong, we've been wrong. I know you love to crawl along enslaved by all of these things, but I'd rather be a butterfly bum than a caterpillar king. You think the sure road to success is just an upward climb, that any man can get there if he's climbing all the time, if he's scrapping his outmoded car for one of new design, and brushing up his gutter speech for language more refined, and trading his cheap liquor taste for better vintage wine, and swapping his small 5-room house for one with 8 or 9. Yes, you think the road of human growth is a straight and an upward line, and petty human splendor can climb up to the divine. I know you love to crawl along enslaved by all of these things, but I'd rather be a butterfly bum than a caterpillar king. The road I choose to gain success is the road where I must die. I crawl into my death cocoon in order that I may fly. My house and car don't mean a thing, and let me tell you why. They're just a burden on my back, and they never satisfy. Yes, I throw away my shackles, friend, the things that bind and tie, in order to have freedom like that butterfly in the sky, in order to be free to hear the world's pathetic cry, in order to be free to wipe the tear from every eye. I know you love to crawl along enslaved by all of these things, but I'd rather be a butterfly bum than a caterpillar king. I've learned to help my fellow man because I am so free, and I've learned to hear his whimper as he cries so silently. I can be here, I can be there, wherever misery might rear its ugly head and extend its slavery. Yes, I crawled into my own cocoon, and I left in back of me the shackles and the chains that would never let me be. And I would bid you, friend, that you follow willingly the path I take, the life I make, the truth that sets you free. I know you love to crawl along enslaved by all of these things, but I'd rather be a butterfly bum than a caterpillar king. You're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. Your love for your own family, friend, is just a stepping stone as you climb upon the path that your master has made known. But you got to go much farther on that path that he has shown, if you want to be mature and be humanly full grown. But you're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. He told you to climb up from that narrow family road and extend your many talents out to every man's abode. To grow mature, my friend, you must carry every load, for the law of growth is based upon a universal code. But you're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. You'll get 100-fold, my friend, of parents, wives, and sons when you stop expending all your love on your special ones. For the farther you extend your love, the stronger it becomes, till it reaches full perfection in the barrios and slums. But you're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. You've got to cut the apron string that keeps you safe and sound, the sure, secure placental cord that keeps you tightly bound. For human growth and perfect love are built on shaky ground, and life must first be lost, my friend, before it can be found. But you're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. Your love for your own family then is just a stepping stone as you climb upon the path that your master has made known. But you got to go much farther on that path that he has shown, if you want to be mature and be humanly full grown. But you're walking only halfway, friend, that's why you're immature. 'Cause you're afraid of freedom's path and a life that's insecure. You grope around most everywhere and think that you will find an answer to the troubles that forever plague mankind. You think that education might enlighten all the blind, and long and learned peace debates undo the atom bind. Yes, you think life will improve when the treaties are all signed, and when man is at last unburdened from his fickle mind. You hope for better days when all nations are aligned, and more effective peace enforcement structures are designed. But on this plane, your hope is vain. Yes, on this plane, your hope is vain, for massive means cannot restrain, nor structures very long contain the heart of man. When love is slain, the soul of man, when inhumane, the strength of man, when hatred reigns, the mind of man, when gone insane. You're searching for a bubble that eventually will burst, pursuing coals of fire that you think will quench your thirst. For what you think is blessed, you will reckon soon as cursed, and what you think is greatest, you will reckon soon as worst. You still believe that structures can revive our universe, and better arms control can set the war trend in reverse. But don't you be surprised when life goes from bad to worse, and the victory bandwagon turns out to be mankind's hearse. For on this plain your hope is vain. Yes, on this plain your hope is vain. For massive means cannot restrain, nor structures very long contain the heart of man when love is slain, the soul of man when inhumane, the strength of man when hatred reigns, the mind of man when gone insane. What a mistake, my friend, what a mistake. The men that you would build, you're gonna break. Oh, you think you're doing right when you fill your sons with fright, and you tie them down so tight that they lose their will to fight. Yes, you think you're doing right when you drive them day and night and suppress their inner light by your overwhelming might. What a mistake, my friend, what a mistake. The men that you would build, you're gonna break. Oh, you think you're doing fine when you make them toe the line, and their spirit grows benign, and they show no rebel sign. Yes, you think you're doing fine when their shoes are neatly shined, and they yield to you resigned, overpowered by your mind. What a mistake, my friend, what a mistake. The men that you would build, you're gonna break. Oh, you want to make them great, that is why you dominate, regulate and calculate the very life they should create. Yes, you want to make them great, but you only aggravate, irritate and generate their long-abiding hate. What a mistake, my friend, what a mistake. The men that you would build, you're gonna break. Oh, you think they must conform to your artificial norm and avoid the stress and storm into which each man is born. Yes, you think they must conform to your petty, narrow norm and accept a dull, dead, dreary life that's safe, secure from harm. What a mistake, my friend, what a mistake. The men that you would build, you're gonna break. You always want to get there and to reach your goal, 'cause you don't know that full satisfaction kills your soul. Call your life by any name, I still say that it's just a game whereby you struggle towards an aim with joy and spirit all aflame. But when you do at last attain the victory that you sought to gain, your spirit does not stay the same, but withers till it's dull and tame. You You always want to get there and to reach your goal, 'cause you don't know that full satisfaction kills your soul. A jigsaw puzzle, if you try, can make your inner spirit fly. The challenge lifts your mind up high and lights the fire within your eye. But when you're finished by and by, that glow begins to fade and die, and so you break it with a sigh, and well, you know the reason why. You always want to get there and to reach your goal, 'cause you don't know that full satisfaction kills your soul. And so it is with all success, the final goal is bitterness. The having leaves you spiritless, the gaining is all emptiness. For life is made of pain and press, confusion, struggle, strain, and stress. There is no goal in happiness, for joy comes only as you progress. You always want to get there and to reach your goal, 'cause you don't know that full satisfaction kills your soul. And this is why your children thrive and seem so very much alive. They know they did not yet arrive, and so they still can strain and strive. Yes, this is why your children thrive, and why they have such zeal and drive. And from their zeal you must contrive to make your life again revive. You always want to get there and to reach your goal, 'cause you don't know that full satisfaction kills your soul. Once many, many years ago, there came into our land a man whose words of wisdom one could easily understand. A person who held out to all a warm and a loving hand, who touched the strings of every heart to make each heart expand. He spoke of God as though he were the Father of each man, and he spoke of the boundless love God had before the world began. His words soon cast out fear of God as only true love can, and with this also cast out fear of nation and of clan. God of fear, be appeased by what you hear. You, my God, are so austere. With our sins don't be severe. Listen to our wretched prayer. You are more than we can bear. God of fear, your supreme law we revere. Once many, many years ago, the power structure saw that the God of love was casting out the fear of every law. That perfect love was freeing mankind from the structure's claw, and was taking man away from underneath the structure's paw. So from the God of love they gently urged man to withdraw, and they sent him back to the God of fear, the God of wrath and law. They covered up the good in man and emphasized each flaw, and this is how they threw him back into their open jaw. God of fear, be appeased by what you hear. You, my God, are so austere. With our sins don't be severe. Listen to our wretched prayer. You are more than we can bear. God of fear, your supreme law we revere. And for some 20 centuries we listened to this tale, and we let the structure wrap us in its all-embracing veil. We let our healthy, loving hearts through fear grow weak and frail, and we let the vigor of our lives through fear grow dry and stale. We let the sunshine in our face through fear grow sad and pale, and we turn the music of our voice into a fearful wail. But all of this will change, my friend, and this time we won't fail, for love will finally rid us of this fear-enslaving jail. God of fear, you are pleased by what you hear. No more God who looks austere, no more God who acts severe, no more thoughts of wretched prayer, no supreme law to revere. God of fear, disappear, and let your love shine bright and clear. My holy Reverend Cleric, I now have no doubt that you don't know what the Christian life is all about. You strut around in fancy clothes and all that stuff, with lace around your hemline and around each cuff, and your fancy hat is topped with a ball of fluff, and you're tucked away in winter in your scarf and muff. But your master wandered barefoot, and his clothes were rough, and his face was weather-beaten, and his skin was tough, and you say you follow him. Well, I've heard enough, 'cause you can't compare that man with a pampered cream puff. My holy Reverend Cleric, I now have no doubt that you don't know what the Christian life is all about. Just check yourself and see how you accommodate your views to coincide with those of the ruling state, how you shake the hand of governor and delegate, and you break bread with the presidential candidate. But think a moment, friend, upon your master's fate. He died by order of the Roman magistrate. His friends were not among the strong or proud or great, those very men you wine and dine and imitate. My holy Reverend Cleric, I now have no doubt that you don't know what the Christian life is all about. Let's peek inside of your palatial rectory to get a glimpse of your so-called austerity, and sit upon your overstuffed upholstery, and eat from dishes made for aristocracy. My holy reverend friend, someday I hope you'll see that Christ was not a member of the bourgeoisie. He cut out from all this in order to be free, and you'll never find him, friend, locked in luxury. My holy Reverend Cleric, I now have no doubt that you don't know what the Christian life is all about. But when it comes to money, yes, you do excel. The giant churches that you build do clearly tell that money-wise, I must admit, you do quite well. You pay the debts and still your bank books swell and swell. But holy Reverend, let me once again rebel, 'cause your plant is really nothing but an empty shell, a ponderous and twice blessed holy prison cell, a glamorized, de-Christianized, ungodly hell. My holy Reverend Cleric, I now have no doubt that you don't know what the Christian life is all about. You're looking at men's faces, but you do not see their soul. You settle for the partial and ignore the human whole. You're in an adolescent phase in which emotion easily sways and throws perspective in a maze by all the clever tricks it plays. And this is why your speech betrays your superficial narrow ways. You view men through a foggy haze, and what is real escapes your gaze. You're looking at men's faces, but you do not see their soul. You settle for the partial and ignore the human whole. You call men either black or white and rest content that you are right. Your judgment locks each man up tight and hides his true self from your sight. And on this basis you will fight, condemn, accuse, convict, indict. Your thoughts of him are filled with fright, and they break the bond that could unite. You're looking at men's faces, but you do not see their soul. You settle for the partial and ignore the human whole. You call men either friend or foe, and on this foolish base you sow the seeds of bitter hatred, so that enmities take root and grow. Yes, enmities take root and grow, and prejudice begins to show, and vengeful poison starts to flow on people you don't even know. You're looking at men's faces, but you do not see their soul. You settle for the partial and ignore the human whole. So break your childish barricade and see behind each masquerade a man whose heart is heavy weighed by troubles you have partly made. Yes, break your infantile blockade and see the real man you evade, the man you mentally degrade, because down deep you're so afraid. You're looking at men's faces, but you do not see their soul. You settle for the partial and ignore the human whole. The welfare is my shepherd, but it's turning out all wrong. And this is why I sing to you my sad, depressing song. My shepherd is the welfare state, it fills my every need, and it leads me to green pastures at a fascinating speed. Along its superhighways to an artificial mead. Near chlorinated waters, it suggests I stop and feed. In all my life's adventures, it forever takes the lead. True to its name, it fares me well and makes sure I succeed. If I should leave the beaten path, its warnings I would heed. For I find such security in following its creed. The welfare is my shepherd, but it's turning out all wrong. And this is why I sing to you my sad, depressing song. It makes for me a banquet where the milk and honey flow, and it fills the mouths of all alike, the lofty and the low. It builds a military that will ward off every foe, and it guards, protects, uplifts, corrects in every way I know. Its goodness and its kindness will be everywhere I go, for it penetrates all privacy so that it can bestow the great gifts of technology to help my living so, the great gifts of the welfare state to lift my veil of woe. The welfare is my shepherd, but it's turning out all wrong. And this is why I sing to you my sad, depressing song. Yet somehow I feel anxious with a vague, uneasy dread, and I wonder if I'm living or if part of me is dead. My every want is cared for and my body is well fed, but still this doesn't feel as good as everyone once said. I think sometimes I've sold my soul to get a loaf of bread, and that in spite of all the proofs I've somehow been misled. The thought of full prosperity once filled my dreamy head, but now I feel within my soul an emptiness instead. The welfare is my shepherd, but it's turning out all wrong, and this is why I sing to you my sad, depressing song. One self-love will knock you down, the other will lift you up. I said one self-love will drain you dry, the other will fill your cup. Two men began to learn self-love a little bit each day. Two men began to learn self-love, but each in a different way. The first one got his self-esteem by earning higher pay, and he got his status and prestige by a better-than-thou display. He turned his somber life into a splashy life that's gay by buying splendid gadgets in bewildering array. 'Cause the things I have, he told himself, are what will make me stay in such high esteem with all those folks who come beneath my sway. One self-love will knock you down, the other will lift you up. I said one self-love will drain you dry, the other will fill your cup. The other man also loved himself and saw with his inner sight that when he used his talents well, his darkness turned to light. And when he was creative, it dispelled his inner fright. And when his skills developed, they enlightened his dark night. He saw such growth destroying his propensity to fight, and he saw such growth destroy his bitter jealousy and spite. Yes, he felt his inner spirit growing wings and taking flight, and he knew deep down within his heart that this self-love was right. One self-love will knock you down, the other will lift you up. I said one self-love will drain you dry, the other will fill your cup. Well, by and by the first man had his self-love fully grown, and he perched himself above his friends upon his well-earned throne. Yes, he gained the goal that he started for, and he reaped what he had sown. And now he's just an empty shell, remote and all alone. 'Cause one self-love will knock you down, the other will lift you up. I said one self-love will drain you dry, the other will fill your cup. The other man with his own self-love had made a brand new start, and he fostered all his talents as he made self-love an art. The strength of spirit in his soul soon tore his shell apart, and now he pours upon all men the sunshine of his heart. One self-love will knock you down, the other will lift you up. I said one self-love will drain you dry, the other will fill your cup. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. Here's a story that you ought to know. A farmer raised some turkeys long ago, and each day watched his turkeys grow and grow, and each day checked their health from head to toe. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. His one mistake, as you will see, was when he put an empty barrel in their pen. For turkeys, as you know, display a yen, to crowd themselves together just like men. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. Well, they hopped into the barrel one and all, thinking that inside they'd have a ball. But the turkeys were so large and space so small that the turkey trot became instead of brawl. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. They choked and gasped for air and breathing space, and in desperation pecked each other's face. And they gobble-cursed this overcrowded place, and they called the farmer's barnyard a disgrace. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. With all that noise and all that turkey smell, that barrel soon became a living hell, and it took no sage nor prophet to foretell that soon the irate turkeys would rebel. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky. Rebel they did with knives and guns and flame, and some were crippled, some were blind and lame, and the farmer was chief target of their aim. Yes, he's the one who's reaping all the blame. But all of this, my friend, is such a shame, and things are just as bad as when I came. 'Cause they're living in the barrel just the same, pal. They're living in the barrel just the same. City is a barrel, city turkey. Your air's polluted and your water's murky.